Hey guys, it's me, Cali. Today I am really excited to be sharing with you what I created for this month's Gypsy Witch project. Our theme was recycling, and I decided to come up with these Boho Gypsy Lanterns. These square ones are made out of popsicle sticks and tissue paper, and these round ones are made out of old mayonnaise and pickle jars and some items I had laying around the house. So I hope you're inspired to stick around. These work as lanterns and shine in the dark, and I'll be showing some. And here they are, all lit up. I think they look amazing. Okay guys, come on, I'll show you how I did it. Okay guys, let's get started. I've laid down a plastic garbage bag because things are going to get really messy here. This project is messy and does take a lot of drying time, so be prepared. My inspiration for this project came from a beautiful piece of paper that I received in some Happy Mail recently. And when I asked the person who sent this to me how they created it, they said that they used tissue paper and some of these Decor Media Mister sprays. These are acrylic paint sprays and they are permanent, and I use them all the time. And I was really excited when I heard that because I wanted to create some of these papers myself. So you can use, white tissue paper. I also have some, purple or blue, whatever colors you want. And I'm going to show you really quickly how my take on this. I suggest using some gloves because, again, it gets messy. So I just have my tissue paper here. I don't know if she did this or not, but I'm going to spritz it down. And then just spray some of these sprays, okay? You can do however you want to do this, whatever patterns, it doesn't matter. All right? So let your imagination go wild. And I just ordered some more of these because I use them all the time. Yeah, my palette is purple and blue. Use whatever colors you want. And then you're going to set that aside and let it dry, obviously. Okay, and I will show you. Okay, so here's one that I did already that's nice and dry. And I realized I called this tissue paper. This is a water spritz bottle that I have full of water, and that's what I spritz the tissue paper with. Sometimes my mouth doesn't listen to my brain. Anyway, so this is nice and dry. Now, I suppose you could work with it this way, but I decided to take it one step further. And also at this point, you can leave it this way, or if you would like to add any designs, like you could, do a spiral on this. I'm big on spirals or stars or whatever you want. I have these, this is a Sharpie paint pen in metallic gold. And I also have a silver leafing pen. This one's by Krylon. So you can further embellish it that way. Once you've got your paper how you want, then I love this stuff. This is my Deco Art Americana Decoupage. This is in matte. You can use glossy if you'd like. If you don't have this or a Mod Podge, you could make your own by mixing equal parts of school glue, white school glue, with water, and just use that. And I wish I could buy this stuff by the truckload. I go through it so much. So you're going to use a lot of this. Again, you might want to put some gloves on. And all I did was go in with a brush and my decoupage, and I literally just brushed it right on, guys. And I'll show you, all the way, the whole paper, and it doesn't rip. I mean, you have to be a little careful with it. It is tissue paper after all, but, I covered the whole page, and then let that dry overnight. Like I said, you're going to have a lot of drying time, and I'll show you. I have one that's already done. Let me set this aside. This is what it looks like. Something like that. Okay, this has the one coat dry, and then the back is still tissuey. Now, again, you can leave it like this if you'd like, but I really love the consistency of this. It almost feels like a vinyl or, you know, obviously it's like an acrylic skin. So what I did was I flipped it over and I did the same thing to the back. Took my decoupage, painted it on, and then let that dry. And I'll show you a couple examples, but I was left with this amazing plasticky paper that doesn't want to tear. It's very durable and it's transparent. And I could think of a million things to do with this, and stay tuned because I do have some other project ideas. But how cool is that, right guys? Okay, so here's one, and then I got crazy with it. I couldn't stop. Here's another one. Okay, and then like I said, if you want to embellish, I did do this whole thing with these spirals. Okay, so I just think it's amazing. All right, like I said, lots of drying time, can be very messy. I just laid out garbage bags all over my kitchen and I went to town. So once we have that done, all right, and your papers are drying, the next step you're going to want to do, and I decided to use popsicle sticks. And I went back and forth with skewers, chopsticks, sticks from the yard, many things, but ultimately I did decide to use popsicle sticks. And this is what I'm talking about. You could also use like tongue depressors, you know, wooden tongue depressors. So these are flat sticks, and that's what I found to be the best. Now, you can leave them as is. They're normally like a light buff colored, light tan. These happen to be colored ones. I decided that I wanted to spray paint them silver. So again, with the Krylon, I have this Krylon metallic silver spray paint. And I just took a box, an Amazon box, and put my sticks in the box, spray painted them, and this is what I got. Okay, I did a lot. You are going to need 20 sticks for this lantern, 5 sets of 4, and when you're done spray painting them, like I said, that's what they look like. Now, at this point, you can leave them as is, but I told you I like to embellish things, so I went in with, I'll show you. Okay, and all that is obviously the silver stick, and I went in with my Sharpie paint pen and just did those swirls. And then, actually, I have it on the back, just the swirls. And I could have left it at that, but I did want to outline it more. Sorry for the lighting here. Hello. So I took, again, I'm a huge Sharpie fan, my black Sharpie, and just outlined it. All right, to give it kind of a Moroccan feel. Do whatever you want. You could do polka dots, you could do, you know, black and white, anything. So have your sticks ready. Then the next step, we're going to want to glue them together. And all I did was take my, you can use whatever glue you want. You can use hot glue. I chose to use E6000. Anytime you're working with these chemicals and things, you know, use good precautions. Work in a well-ventilated area. Same thing with the spray paint. You want to do that outside. You know, use precautions, especially if you're working with children. But I chose to use this, and all I did, I glued these together, and I just smeared a little on the ends of my sticks, okay? And that's it. You learn this in summer camp, okay? So I made a square, let me set these aside, frame, okay? That's it. Voila. So you're going to make 5 of these. And again, they have to dry. So let them dry. You have 5. Now once you have your 5 and they're dry, take one of your sheets of acrylic paper that you made. All right. And we are now going to glue our frames onto the paper. And I've already done this, and you want to glue the frames on the paper that you want to do this right side up. And I hope you could see this okay. Now, I did measure this, and it's 19.5 inches by 10.5 inches. Now, we're going to be cutting a lot of this off, so you're going to have extra, and again, I have plans for that, and I'll share that with you. But all I did was glue these down in an L shape, okay? And like I said, I have the right side of the paper, the design that I want to see coming through, okay? So I glued these down with my Aleene's tacky glue, and for no other reason than I really like it. And I also weighted these down because I really wanted this to be sticking to every stick. So I just put heavy weights on top of this, and again, let it dry. The longer you let it dry and the more patient you are, the better this is going to turn out, okay? So now we have our L. L is for lantern, boys and girls. And I'm not big on measuring, but basically we have about an inch border around here. I'm going to cut here and do the same thing. We're going to leave about an inch border all the way around, and I'll do that right now just to show you. And this is going to come together so easily, you're not going to believe it. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. Going back to my Aleene's here. Now this is what we have. Now at this point, if you want, you can choose to kind of notch here and here. We're going to be folding this. All right. So just like in sewing, we're going to kind of notch the corners a little bit. Don't go all the way up to the stick. All right, now the first thing I did was flip it over, and we're going to kind of pull up this bottom piece here. Now you want to be careful that you don't want any showing on the other side of the stick. So if this is too long, you can trim it. Does that make sense? Because when it's glowing, or you can even just push it down, all right? So I'm just going to do this only on the bottom here. I'm going to leave these sides alone. So just the bottom all the way around. And I'll show you, I'm going to lay a bead of my Aleene's all along the back. And then I'm just going to, like I said, push this up. And I'll kind of adjust this. I could trim this off. Pull it tight. You know, you don't have to be super gentle with this stuff. It's pretty durable, but you don't want to, you know, you can, it's only tissue paper and popsicle sticks, so, you know, be aware. All right, so that's what we have there. All right, I am going to just go in and trim this a little bit here. And it trims just like fabric. It's amazing. All right, so I'm going to let this dry and I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. So you can see on the bottom here, it's nicely glued down, and I trimmed it, and I went ahead and trimmed all the way around, and I just kind of notched at the corners. All right. So I suppose I could have glued this down too, but I'm going to do it as we assemble our cube. Here we have, what we're going to do, all right, before I start gluing, is this. Okay, we're going to make our square. It's going to have an opening in the bottom. So I'm going to start by laying down some glue here, and then flipping this over, and And this stuff just is so easy to work with, you guys. All right, now this top lip here, we're going to do the underneath part of it right here. We're going to glue that to this. So not here. Then I kind of flip it over this and do it here. All right. And then we are going to match here. Okay. Now this is a little hard for me because I'm working upside down, but we're going to do the same thing here. All the way around. Push this down. You have, you know, time to work with it. We're going to do the back of this one. You don't need a lot of glue. And we are going to okay. And to finish up, I'm going to go like this. And I'm going to kind of do this simultaneously here, so I'm going to fold this one over too. And then we're going to do the back and the back. And it's coming apart, but that's okay. Again, this is very easy to work with. And you could do this with wax paper or tissue paper without the decoupage, but I really think that decoupaging this paper has just made it so sturdy, and that if you were to do it with just tissue paper, it would not, you wouldn't be able to work with it as well. Okay guys, I'm going to play around with this a little bit to just even things up and press things down. It's hard for me to do that and show you, but I'm going to go in and just make everything nice, and then we're going to set this aside to dry. But you get the general gist, don't you? How friggin' cool is this? And we'll be setting this over either a battery-operated votive or little battery-operated fairy lights. No open flame, all right? So I'm going to mess around with this and just make sure it's all squared up. And we'll set it aside to dry, and we'll be back with the next one. Okay, while that one's drying, I'll show you the first one that I made. And this is nice and dry. And I also coated these with this Americana acrylic and gloss. I don't know if it was necessary or not, but it did bring out the colors and the sticks. I did a little bit different this time. And this one I learned that you need to trim, because when the light shows through this, you can on one side see the paper, and it will be hard for me to go back in and try to trim that. But live and learn. It still looks great, I think. And I'll show you, I talked before, I got this at the dollar store. So this is just a little battery operated tea light, and I will give you some night shots of these, but you could use that. And again, you can't really see it here, but for this one I'm choosing to use I got these on Amazon. They're little battery operated like fairy lights, and I love them. They're super portable, and they have this little on-off switch, and they're really bright. So you can either just throw these under here if you want, or stick it in a jar. I have a glass kind of votive holder. I'm just going to kind of scrunch it up in there, and then there you have it. These would look great outside on your deck, or at a gypsy wedding, or in your bedroom as a nightlight. I will show you some shots in the dark. They look great. So I'm going to set that aside, and next we're going to move on to, I got inspired to do this next one with all the scraps that I had left over. And I also have some other ideas for these, but I decided to just save these and You can cut up more. You know, I told you I made extra sheets of this. So I just cut up a bunch of strips in all different sizes. I did not want them to be uniform at all. And then, anyone who knows me knows I save all of my jars, food jars. So here's an old olive jar. Rinse them out good, get the labels off. If you need to, you can use acetone. And then I have one here that's already done. And I took the lid and I went back to my handy dandy spray paint and I spray painted the lid. Okay, now I'm going to make these so they sit like this with the lid on the bottom, but you can have it this way. You know, it's up to you. I just like the look of that better. It's more like a pedestal. And you could embellish this further if you want to wrap twine around it or beads or whatever you want to do. But for the sake of this, I'm going to keep it simple here. And all we're going to do is go back to our decoupage and take our strips. I'm just going to pour some out here. And where's my brush? Hang on, I thought I had everything. I do have everything. And we're just going to, I started at the top to like have it drape down the sides. And you don't want to get on the ridge here because you're going to want to be able to screw your lid on at the end. I did make that mistake and had to go back in with an X-Acto knife, which is fine. It trims very easily, but all I did, boys and girls, was take some of these strips and lay them down. It goes on like a dream. Okay. And in no order or, you know, with any kind of method to my madness, just go around and glue them all on. Try not to leave any spaces unless you want to leave spaces. Maybe you can punch holes in these and make stars or something. But I chose to cover it all up. Okay, so you're going to go around the whole jar, and I'm going to, just for the sake of this video, show you some that I've already done, and I will finish that in just a minute. But I have two here that I can show you. And again, they're super shiny because of the gloss I put on them. And I just did a spiral at the top, and these, I just have the battery packs right in them. How cool is that, you guys? Okay, so there's that one. And all I did was the strips, and then I went back in with that gold pen and the Sharpie, and I outlined it. You could do whatever you want, okay? And then here's another one. I did some stars. And same thing. I have a votive in here. I had so much fun making these, you guys. And when they were completely dry, and again, it might be overkill because I know the decoupage itself is a sealant, but I did, again, go over everybody with this gloss. And I really think it brought everything out. And I had so much fun with these, you guys. I know you're going to have fun with these too. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you're inspired to create some. Don't forget to only use battery operated, okay? I did do a, I had an existing candle jar that already had a candle in it. It was a plain jar, and I took it and I just did the strips on it all the way around, and I just took some jute twine at the top and wrapped it and hung this butterfly, which was an earring. You could put any charm you want. You could do any kind of decor. You could see the candle in there, but I could pop this right on top and use it that way too, okay? So have a beautiful day. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Don't forget to go check out my gypsy sister, Miss Rita Marie, And everyone else, I'll put all the links below. Come join us on our Facebook group, The Gypsy and the Witch. We have new projects every month. We'd love to see you over there. I'm going to insert a lot of other footage, and I will see you guys when I see you. Peace and love. Okay, guys, everything's done. I'm in love with these. This little guy, I decided to just put a flat glass charm on top, and also from the dollar store. So I will definitely give you guys a good night shot of these tonight. And it's so hard. I love them all. What do you guys think? Are you inspired? I hope so. Which one's your favorite? Do you have a favorite? I don't know. Hard for me to pick. But can you tell what my favorite color is? Okay, guys. I will see you all soon. And I'll definitely see you tonight. And until then. Okay, guys. There you have it. What do you think? I couldn't wait for it to get dark out so I could light these up and show them off to you. I love them. I'm really, really happy with the way they turned out, and I hope you are too. So please let me know if I've inspired you. Tag me in any of your videos. I'll gladly come check it out. Check out all the links below. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you'd like. And I hope you're having a beautiful, blessed week. I'll talk to you guys very, very soon. Peace and love. Take care. Bye-bye.